Hey, it's Lisa from New York. I'm excited to be here to share some really good stuff with you. Right here I have Canva. And if you've never used Canva before, it's a really great free tool that can help you come up with some really great graphics and different things. These are the examples of some of the things that I've put up on Instagram. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, go to Lisa J. Ruth and you'll see these. They'll look very familiar to you. This is how I'm creating the graphics that I use. Now, graphics are really key in marketing and advertising because a picture is worth 1,000 words, okay? And the more you can be and put your customization and influence into pictures and the more unique they are, the more people you'll attract to you. So let me just show you real quick a few things that I do in order to build some of my Instagram pictures, okay? Super, super simple. First thing I want to show you in here is Canva has the settings for everything, okay? So if you want to do a Twitter post or social media is kind of like a blanket one that can kind of go across the board. Facebook post, Facebook app, the little apps, so it tells you the dimensions of all those. Tumblr graphics, Instagram. One of my favorite ones is, and what I've had a lot of trouble with in the past, is Facebook cover photos. Where's the little picture going to show, and what's going to show in the background, and what's going to get cut off. All those, you want to make sure that you're creating the graphics to the right size, because otherwise it's going to be distorted and it's going to look off. So what I'm going to show you today is Instagram. I'm going to start from scratch. Now, first thing I want to show you is there are a lot of options in here that are free, okay? One key thing that you definitely want to do is if you're going to use any one of these free options, you want to make sure that you customize it somehow. So I'm just going to take this little piggy, for instance. Now, let's say, for example, I didn't like the background color, okay? Or even just to know that other people are using Canva. You don't want your picture to look like other people's. So make sure you're changing it somehow, okay? And it will seem familiar to them, but it won't look like a direct copy of what someone else is doing, okay? That's a very key thing that I make sure that I always do is if I'm going to use one of these pre-done up ones, I'm making it my own, okay? So first thing I would do is right in here, right? You click on the background, super easy. I didn't do anything, it wasn't like rocket science, right? I clicked on the background. And look, it shows me the teal color, and I can change it, okay? Remember where this is going, okay? It's another key thing about graphics. They're on their phone. What's going to stop them, okay, on your phone, what's going to stop them from scrolling, okay? You've got 2 seconds to have somebody make a decision on whether or not they're going to stop on your picture. So you better make it a wow factor of why they want to stop, okay? If you click on the font here, you'll see you can totally, if I can type, totally change this. Okay, you can type whatever you want. You can make it, and this is one of my favorite things, is the fact that it shows you what the font is going to look like. That's so cool. Okay, now that's not working because it's all caps. Okay, but you want to make sure that the font, another key tip here, font is readable, okay? And the font color on the background, we're going to get into a little bit of that. So, other thing is you can rotate it around if you want, kind of locks in place. So if you did want to have text, kind of going sideways, you could do that too. Now, one other thing I want to show you, I'm just going to delete this because now it's going all wacky on me. Fonts, okay? You can go in here and choose a whole different type of font, okay? If you like the way that this looks, you can go in and change the colors if you like. You can go in and change, that's going to vibrate, that's not going to be good. We'll do black, okay? So you can change it, you can customize, you can make it, again, very super simple and important to do in order to make it your own and customized. Sometimes, yep, these graphics are totally customizable. Let's say you don't want like the skin tone shades of this piggy. You want to make the piggy blue. Okay? There's a little plus sign here. It's not showing you because it's got a lot of colors, but there's a little plus sign here, and you can click on there and you can select and make a new color. Okay, so I just made that blue. I'm going to make this one, I'm going to hit my little plus sign. I'm going to make another shade of blue. Okay, again, totally different from what we started. Okay, so these little graphics, these ones are all separate, so you can delete them, you can keep them, you can, again, make it customizable to you. All right, the other thing I want to show you is how do you start from scratch on your own? Okay, now these are some of the images and the graphics that I've used in some of the backgrounds in my own Instagram. And where did I get these from? Okay, this is a nifty little site. It's called hdwallpapers.in. Okay, hdwallpapers.in. And this nifty site, it's all free. Okay, you can use all of these high quality desktop wallpapers for use for free. Now, you want to make sure that you're using graphics. You're not just going into Google and typing in some graphics, because that will run you into trouble eventually. Okay, people don't like when you steal their graphics and kind of take their stuff and whatever, but HD Wallpapers allows you to use it. Okay, so you'll recognize this from my Instagram. So a lot of different options in here, okay, and you can go through, you can search, you can figure out different ones. I'm just going to take this one and I'm going to show you what I do. So I'm going to click on it. It's going to show it up real big. Okay, you have an option to make it even bigger if you want to. If you want to just take a detail of the picture itself. But I'm going to leave it at the regular size, and I'm going to show you what I do. It's not really hard. You can either control click, okay, and save the image as it is, big. I'm telling you right now, if you're using this online, it's going to be too big. Okay, if you save it this way, it's going to be too big for what you need it, and you're going to get frustrated because unless you know how to shrink it down, it's going to become a problem for you. And shrinking down is not just the size, okay, because what happens is big pictures like this, they will use up and will take a long time to load either on your website or on Facebook or on your phone or whatever. You don't want it to take a long time because, again, you've got 2 seconds to make a difference on whether or not this person stops and checks out what you've got, okay? So my recommendation is to just take a screenshot, okay? If you don't know how to take a screenshot using your computer, then ask Google. Google knows everything. Okay, because you can ask Google either for a Mac, if you're on a Mac computer, then it's Command Shift F, Command Shift 4 will give you these crosshairs. Okay? And all I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to be using this on Instagram, and I'm taking a screenshot and I'm going to make it sort of a square. Okay? So I'm just going to do this. Take my screenshot. It saves my picture. It's going to pop it up right here. And I'm going to put bridge. I'm just going to name it. I'm going to go back to my Canva, blank Canva. I'm going to click on where it says uploads. Use your own image. And this is how I added all of these graphics in there. Okay, super, super easy. Here's bridge. Open. It's going to save it in here. I'm going to click on it. And again, it constrains its proportions. It's great. This is such a smart little tool. Okay? It constrains its proportions so that you're not squeezing and scrunching. You're holding true to what the picture is. Okay? And that's how I create the background. Now what I'm going to do is going to go back here and I'm going to click on text. And I'm going to add a text in there. Again, you can make it smaller. All right. Now, here's what I see a lot. This is not good. Can you read that? You probably can, but you're not going to read it within 2 seconds of looking at the picture. Okay, if you're expecting somebody to, you want someone to be able to stop and see what you're doing. Like, again, you've got a 2-second threshold. So I would recommend changing the color of this or changing the color of your background. Okay, so I'm going to just make this black for now. Okay, again, super easy, much more readable. Okay, the same thing applies if it's in a dark area. Okay, you don't want people to strain themselves to try and read whatever it is, unless it's secondary and it's okay for them to read kind of as a secondary thing. But if you want somebody to be able to read it, you definitely want that contrast between the background color and the text that you're putting on top. Okay, now the other cool thing is your logo. Okay, you want to use a consistent logo that you're going to use for almost all of your graphics, whether it be, and you determine what it is, if it's for your Facebook page or if it's for Instagram or if it's for whatever you're using it for. You want to put your own signature, your own way for them to get in touch with you. So if you're a little bit more advanced, I'm going to show you what I did. I created a type outline of my logo, and I just used a font, and it shows through the background, and I can change the color, and I can put this on anything. Okay, and all I did was put workwithlisaruth.com at Lisa J. Ruth is my Instagram, because a lot of these, again, most of these get posted on my Instagram. That's one of my favorite places to hang out. So check me out on there, Lisa J. Ruth. And to create your own logo, for now, if you're not advanced and you don't have type editing software and all that good stuff, so simple. Go to the text tool, hit any one of these, okay? And I'm just going to put Susie Q. It's my favorite little name to use. Susie Q, okay? Susie Q, I'm going to put it as Allura, okay, because the Q is very cool. And so now, anytime I use my logo, I'm going to make it using that font, Allura, okay? And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did, excuse me, for mine. And it's, SusieQ.com. Now here's another thing to keep in mind, okay? You want to pick a font that's easily readable. This one's a little bit questionable, okay? If Susie Q wants to have you go to her site, some people might have a hard time trying to figure out what the S's are. And it's totally dependent on what your website and your domain name is, okay? Because I'll tell you, let's see if the name wasn't, let's see, Todd. Okay, Todd Q, right? That one's a little bit easier to figure out what all those letters are. The S's are a little bit questionable on whether or not they're going to be able to read it. My thought process is anytime you're using a URL or domain, you don't want to take any chances. Just like I have Lisa J. Ruth here, you want it in a sans serif font, the end. Okay, it's going to be super crispy clear. You can use the serif because those are typically good. If it's in the same font box, it's going to change the whole thing, okay? So you can always add a second font box to it. So we can put Susie back to Allura, and we can make SusieQ.com. Okay, and that would be like okay. So each time, if you have it written down on what your font is and what you're using, then you can quickly set it up. It didn't take very long. Okay, so Super, super easy to use. One more thing I want to show you, and this is going to really help you to customize a lot of the backgrounds and the graphics, is if you click on the background itself, you go to filter, it changes the background. It adds a filter to it, it changes the background. It's yours. Okay, so it's a totally, I'm just going to add this in here. It's a totally done, new, fresh, custom graphic. There you go. Okay. Last thing you want to do, you're going to hit File, Save. Super easy. You can share it to yourself. Okay. So if you're using it for Instagram, you can share it to yourself and put in your own email address, and it'll send it to yourself on your phone then. Because on Instagram you can only do it from a phone, from the phone app, and you can upload it directly from there, or you can download the image for web. Again, high quality is for print, unless you're doing something very specific, but it's got so many really great features there. Okay, make it public, you can share it. Canva has all different kinds of options. What I just showed you is how I really use Canva, and I hope that really helped you out. Now, if you have any questions about something specific that you're trying to do in Canva and you can't kind of figure out what it is, how to do it, let me know. Hit me up. Go to workwithlisaruth.com and put in your information and let me know in the comment section and ask me to help you out. Would love to. All right. I hope you found that valuable and helpful, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.